One, can everybody shift to the front a little bit? There's a lot of empty chairs over here. Please don't be afraid, I won't bite, I promise. So please come forward. No, the back row actually, the back row. The back row. Come forward, please. Thank you. There's 3 seats over here, 2 seats over here. There's 4 seats, 7 seats over here. Good evening. What a crowd. What a crowd. I see friends. I see friends of friends. I see acquaintances, soon to be friends. But what a crowd. Thank you very much for coming. So just a bit of an introduction for everybody else actually before I introduce myself, is that anybody wearing the blue lanyards, okay, they are actually Amity members, so anybody who wants to find out more about us, do speak to anybody wearing the blue lanyards, okay, and businesses, they're actually wearing colored name badges as well. So just for tonight, let's make friends. We all love living in a tribe. I think we should make friends more. Everybody has their names over there. So please do try to make friends and at least try to make at least 2 new friends. 2 people who you've never met before. Have a chat. We have all bonded by a common bond today. So thank you very much for coming. So Amity Think Different Evening. What on earth is this? What is a vet doing organizing evenings like this? Shouldn't it be in consult rooms and just treating animals? So tonight, we want to challenge ourselves and think in terms of our thoughts, our thinking. Why do we need to think different? Is it necessary to think different? What good will come out of it? Tonight we have got a good program for you guys. So on the sides, I'm just going to start with the stalls first. Okay, we're going to have stalls over there. We have Raffle Prizes, fairly amazing Raffle Prizes. I'm going to talk a little bit about who am I? Why on earth am I on the stage over here? And why have all of you guys come here to watch this random Chinese guy you've never saying something? We're going to talk about roots of amity. So what is amity? Why are we here? Our vision and our mission. A little bit about amity culture. And tonight what everybody is waiting for, the Secret of Amity, the title of this presentation. We're going to reveal the secret of it. So without further ado, our first stall, Julia, lovely Julia. First stall on the left over here. She does a lot of illustration. She's an artist basically. She makes magic happen. We send a photograph like this, and this comes out. This comes out. Hand drawn, not computer graphics or anything like that. Here's Howard. And we go Winston, there we go. Ooh, who's that? That's Lily and Marley. And 2 little doggies, Hugo and Florence. So please do visit Julia's stall over here and see if there's anything you like. And she's an amazing lady. We also have got Animal in Distress. So Animal in Distress, as we know, is quite a local charity around here, just in Ipopan. It was founded back in '81 and been in the present premises at Ipopan since '93. They rehome more than 500 pets a year. So you can speak to Rosie, you can speak to Ian over there, what it takes to rehome. I mean, people just think they go to charity, they put a dog in there, then they walk out, and that's it. But it is a little bit more than that, really. And right now, it's quite exciting. They've got a current mission that they are wanting to fundraise for new kennels. And a third stand over there, we've got Gosling Blue. Who is Gosling Blue? Look at this little Hungarian visitor. How cute. When our little friend here was born, unfortunately, our little friend here had spine issues that couldn't be corrected when it was born with it, so to speak. So, needless to say, if they're born like this, it can't be insured, but certainly medical help may be needed in future. And so far, they've been up to see super vet, know if it's specially see whether anything can be done and what's the next step. But it is quite likely that our little friend here is going to need lifelong treatment. So Gary and his team has very kindly sort of sponsored Gosling Blue's fund, so to speak. That's our little friend over here. Check out our Raffle Prizes. We got tea for two in the Grand Hotel. Brixton trip for two. Going round way. Riverford vegetable box. Key West splashdown water parks. Pit Pet the dog activity monitor is like a Fitbit for dogs. Haircut and style with Amy at Gershwin's, and a lot of other prizes. I believe we have over 25 prizes. So please help yourself to the raffle tickets over there. All must go. And these raffle tickets, the money raised is going to be in aid of animal in distress as well, part of their kennels. Dr. Lennon at Amity Vets. Who am I? What on earth am I doing here? So, qualified from the Royal Vet College in London back in 2004. I got a certificate in small animal medicine, and my interest lies in acupuncture, exotics, and also keyhole surgery. But this is so boring. That is the problem. When people see me, they see a vet. And how many people understands that when they see you as your profession. But really, we are more than that, aren't we? We are not just our profession. I'm also somebody who likes to have fun. With a vet written on my head. Why not, hey? I'm also a pet owner. So this little Gabriel, whom we rescued when our little friend here was running around Heatherley. He was rescued by two huge policemen, brought it in, and said this little hamster was running around Heatherley. So I kept our little friend here, and you can see how he has bitten a hole over there. So I covered up with a drain pipe, or drain cover, then bit another hole just beside it. So it was a lot of patchwork on this so-called escape-proof hamster cages. Like many, I'm also a husband and a father. I used to be in the army, so I'm an infantry officer as well. Occasional salsa dancer. On top of that, I also played basketball, water polo, roller skate, and more recently became a capoeira. And we'll find out a little bit what that means. It's a Brazilian game. What I'm trying to impress over here is that we are more than just our jobs. We are more than just who people see us as. We are much, much more than that. So we have to embrace that fact. The roots of amity. So, amity means friendly relations between countries. To shorten it, friendly relations. Amity also happens to be my wife's middle name. So that was quite appropriate. But where have amity come from? The whole roots of it. It is a vet practice. So let's talk a little bit about the vet profession in UK. Okay. The history of over 200 years. I mean, vetting has been around as far as we understand. You know, a fantastic noble profession back in the 50s and 60s. And it's been said that the vet is like one step down from the vicar when people approach for problems and issues and things like that. So, you know, it's a very, very noble profession. People can remember pictures like, you know, like this, where they're diagnosing a fracture, the olden x-rays when they used to take over there. You see how everybody used to wear a suit and a tie, or rather a shirt and a tie, and, you know, taking care of the animals, and it used to be the profession to be. And I remember when my lecturer telling me that she was the only female in the entire cohort of 60 that qualified back in the 60s. So, fast forward to today, what has changed? I mean, when I was in college, in the Royal Vet College back in '99, my cohort was made of 140 people, of which about 35 were guys. So the ratio is like 3:1, 2:1. Before I qualified in my 5th year, the first year, 220 students, 19 were boys. Ratio 7:1. So it has increased feminization of the whole vetting profession. So what has happened then? We have to ask ourselves what is happening. One thing about vetting is that it is very slow in terms of picking up new ideas comparatively to the rest of the world, despite this country being a country of animal lovers. It is quite interesting. For example, it's only 3 years ago that we were allowed to call ourselves doctors for whatever reason, whereas in any other country, they've already been called doctors for ages. And just things like animal-related stuff also. It just seems to be UK just a little bit slower. Like even the pickup of insurance is quite low. You know, for dogs it's 25% insured in UK. Cats is about 12 to 13%, whereas in Sweden it's 70 to 80%, or even 90% in some reports. So it's just very interesting to see the differences. Right now, the vet as a profession suffers from high levels of depression leading to alcohol or substance abuse, and this is real. We also have got high dropout rates. You know, they did a survey back in November, just a little bit more than 6 months ago. 37% of vets, at a moment in time, if given a chance, they would leave the profession completely. More than a third would leave the profession. And this is a profession where people talk about how cool it is to be a vet. Wow, you're a vet, you must be loving it. Is that really true? High level of vet students quit after 2 years of studies. So when I was in my first year, there was about 145 students. When we graduated in my 5th year, there were only 120 students. So, you know, a good 25 students quit. That's 5 a year. So what's happening over there? Why are people quitting, and why are they not continuing? And also, even when they actually become vets, 50% in UK within the first 5 years change their profession completely. So I personally know 2 of my friends. One, when they qualified, immediately went down to Greece and trained to be a windsurfing instructor. Go figure. And another one, when they qualified, went straight into Royal College of Music to become a music lecturer. So what is happening over there? What happened to that noble profession where people read about James Harriet back in the 50s and 60s, whereby it was an amazing profession? And these are things which not many people know, because unless you're in the vet profession, we are not very good at educating ourselves nor the public. So they have no idea what goes on in the vet world, only we know. Okay. High level of suicide. Okay. 2 times more likely than doctors and dentists, 4 times more likely than members of public. Personally, I know 3 of my seniors and colleagues that have gone that way already. How? Why? Is there something we can do about it? This is a fairly interesting one. Low profitability as a business. So 2 years ago, they did a survey. 58% of practices operate on a 7 to 11% profit margin. 7 to 11%, which means that when a vet practice charges an owner £120, £20 straight to VAT, the profit, they take home £7 after all the overheads are taken off. Isn't that interesting? And people think, oh, you're a vet, you must be raking it in. Is it really, really true? And these practices, you know, they are not just, the 58%, we're talking about both corporate and independent. So it is not as though it is just independent practices that are suffering, both corporate and independent as well. And we may have heard of Vets for Pets shutting down, 30 of their practices for cash flow issues. And that's a very, very huge corporate. So, who would want to be a vet? I do a lot of talks in schools. I go in there, speak to the 6th form, the 16-year-olds, the 18-year-olds who are doing the A-levels and all GCSEs, and they say they want to be vets. I go in with those statistics because I'm not trying to scare them off, but because that is true. And they need to know that. They need to understand that before they enter this profession. Because if not, all they're going to do is add on to those statistics. The reason to be a vet must be so strong that despite that, they can still crack on and carry on and graduate and continue working from there. For me, people ask, so why are you still a vet? I love being a vet. It's ridiculous. I actually thrive in it, and I cannot think of any other profession that I want to be in apart from being a vet. And that is why I feel we need to change the story. Okay, because this profession that I love so much, why is it suffering such statistics? I would love to be able to go into schools and tell them, look, you'll be a vet, hugely high retention rate. It's great, okay? Don't worry about your sort of money side of things as well, because it's quite a profitable business. Maybe that's why it's so low. Maybe that's why there's so many men who are not being vets anymore, because usually they're the one who has to, usually, not all the time, to take the money home, so to speak. And that's why so many females have gone into vetting, and most of them become part-time due to nature's most amazing gift of them bearing children. And not many of them come back full-time after that. But I want to change the story. I want to be able to go into practices and say that we should be vets. You should work very, very hard to be a vet. And after you're a vet, you'll never regret it, because it is great. It is a great job. It's not a depressive job. You do not have all these ridiculous statistics going on about suicide and all these sort of things. Very, very smart guy, much smarter than me. We cannot solve the problems using the same thinking when we created them. We simply cannot. It's almost a definition of insanity. Doing the same thing again and again, expecting a different result. We must start. We must start by thinking differently. Maybe so differently that instead of listening to a heartbeat in a concert room, you stand on a stage on a random Friday evening, speaking to a group of people who think differently to come here. So our vision, Amity's vision, we want to educate the UK public and the vet profession about the value of vet medicine. Huge vision. We are building a movement, because it's just one thing me saying, yes, we must change, we must change. But this is what our overriding vision is. Our mission. Okay. We help caring pet owners who struggle with stressful vet experiences by providing a calm approach, resulting in happy and contented customers. We want to make a difference. We want to help people. We love helping people, which is why we're here. And that is how we roll, so to speak. So culture is very, very important to us. There's always talking about will and skill, what should you hire on. Culture is very, very strong. It's very, very important, because culture is what brings us forward. A culture is what makes us different. A culture is what makes a company great, a group of people great, a tribe great. So we have got 10 cultures over here. And the reason why I'm showing you this, I won't go into depth, but every day at Amity, we go through these cultures. We go through our vision, we go through our mission, we go through our cultures to instill it in us. And sometimes we spend a little more time discussing about each one. So our first one, professionalism, education, innovation, which is our company value. Professionalism. It's not just being a professional. It is an act, it's a behavior, it's a personality that you exhibit when you're dealing with other people. The act of professionalism. As we know, not all professionals exhibit professionalism. And likewise, you need not to be a professional to exhibit professionalism. Very, very important to us. Education, paramount. Always teaching, always learning. We believe, you can never know too much to learn more. You can never know too little to be able to teach something. We learn from the owners every day. We learn about their pets, their quirks, and all we're doing is just give the medical aspects of things, and together we form a solution. Working together. Innovation, very, very important as well. The world is changing. Change is the only constant. We have to change along. What worked before may not work now. How on earth has the world's biggest bookshop not owned a single bookstore? Amazon. The world's biggest taxi not own a single car? Uber. The world's biggest cinema not own a single cinema? Netflix. The world is changing. We have to change with it. Owners' expectation change. We have to change with it. It's important. Humility, curiosity, and reflections is our own internal values that we hold. We always remain humble. We always learn. The more we learn, the more we realize we do not know too much. Okay, if this room was our knowledge, where I'm standing is what I know. Where the room is what I know, I do not know. Example, I do not know what is in your handbag. I do not know what's behind the bar. But I actually know that I do not know that. Make sense? What is outside this room? I do not know what I do not know. So many things to learn. So many things to learn. How can we ever stop learning? Curiosity, the want to learn, makes learning so much easier. Reflections, every single thing we do, we reflect to see whether that's the best way to do it. Is there a better way of doing it? Is there a more efficient way of doing it? That's how we learn. Success is a very, very poor teacher. Failure, amazing teacher. You learn so much. We think and do on first principles. Whatever we are doing, we ask ourselves, what is the objective? What's the result that we want to gain out of this? Very important as well. Learning, learning, learning. Need I say more? Self-mastery. We can never really master anything else apart from ourselves, really. Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Change internally, then you change externally. Provide value first. Always talking about that. Okay. We make no excuses. We have no opinions when we are learning, and we're certainly no victims. You can either have results or excuses. You can't really make both. Make results or make excuses. We love being overwhelmed and we thrive in chaos. Comfort is the enemy of growth. I say again, comfort is the enemy of growth. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when you get over that, we're actually growing. And every single step we take, every second we spend over here, every second you spend over here with me, without sounding morbid, is one step closer to death. What are we doing today that has made us different from yesterday? What are we doing today, this month, this week, that's made us different from last week, last month? What are we waiting for? We think global, act local. We always seek out feedback. Always seek out feedback. We love good feedback. We adore and relish on bad feedback. That is how we can learn. That is how we can learn. Okay. We exhibit extreme professionalism. We are starving for knowledge. And we disrupt ourselves before someone else disrupts me. So these are our three core values: professionalism, education, innovation. We challenge ourselves every day. Why are we doing this? Does it still make sense? Do we own it? Can we improve it? That's how we work. Raise your hands if you're a pet owner. Keep your hands up if your pet means a lot to you. Thank you very much. Amazing. Remember that your pet may be a part of your life, but to you, you are their life. They haven't got children to do the school run with. They haven't got pubs to go out for. They haven't got cooking to do. They haven't got friends to meet up. Even if they do, they still need you. They still need you. That's the difference. Okay? So, who wants to be a passive pet owner? And who wants to be their pet's hero? At Amity, we acknowledge pet owners as heroes. We understand, we embrace the humanity of pet ownership. We acknowledge the fact that it's not easy. There's physical, there's mental, there's emotional aspects of being a pet owner. And it can be quite emotional. Who has cried? Who has cried when a pet was being put down? Who has swore never, ever, ever to get a pet again? Who got a pet anyway? It can be very emotional. We understand that. We embrace the bond between that, because every single bond is unique. Every single bond to that animal, to that pet, to that particular owner. Who can replace it? You can never really understand it. It's special, it's unique, it's a secret bond between the two of them. And it is so much more than just, when we do vet medicine, it's so much more than just helping the animal get better. It's acknowledging that, every animal, the animals are really, really easy. It's a dog, it's a cat. It's diabetes, it's a broken leg. That bit is easy. But, to try to embrace and understand the bond between that little animal and the owner, whole different ball game. And I truly believe that's what vet medicine is about. It's not just the science of it. It's the art of it, the humanity of it. Have I rabbled on and babbled on enough? Shall we know what the secret of amity is? Who wants to know the secret of amity? Who wants to know what pushes us every day? How can we have that vision? How can we have that strength to push on to what we do every day? Why do we come to work every day? Why do we want to improve ourselves? Why do we want to have an evening like this? Why do we want to do what we do every day? The secret of what is going to push us, what is going to allow us to see our vision, what allows us to push our mission. The secret of amity. Are we ready? Are we ready? Yeah? You. Very easy. You. Okay. I'm not just referring to pet owners. I'm not just only referring to pet owners. I'm referring to every one of you who are here, who chose to think differently, who chose to join our event this evening, apart from going to a default Friday evening event. It's been said, man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. Man or woman's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. How many of us really understand that? I see you guys here. I see you. I see beautiful people. Beautiful, unique, perfect in every way. I see teachers, I see trainers, I see computer analysts, I see healers, I see doctors. But everyone, perfect, beautiful. You. Think different. I'd like to share. What would you do? What would we do if we had no fear? What is holding us back? What would we do if we had no fear? I'd like to share this little poem with you. There's a hole in my sidewalk by Portia Nelson. Day 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It still takes me a long time to get out. On the third day, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault I get out immediately. Fourth day, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Fifth day, I walk down another street. How many of us can relate to this? Doing the same thing again, out of habit. Out of habit. I'd like to leave something with you guys, something that I heard before. It's quite interesting. We don't decide our future. We decide our habits. Our habits decide our future. I say again, no, we don't decide our future. We decide our habits. Our habits decide our future. Can we think different? Can we think different? What happens when we do? Our future, or the future, is not a place we got to go. It is a place that we can create. Very, very different. Are we able to create that? Are we able to think differently? Are we living our life to the best, to the fullest? Such that, no regrets, no remorse. And when we get there, what are we going to do? Can we think differently? What happens when we do? It's interesting. So, we need people who think differently. We need people to join our movement. We need people who understand the difference between living and merely existing. So how can you contribute to amity? How can anyone contribute to amity? Love yourself and do the right thing. I say again, love yourself and do the right thing. It can be quite sad watching a child being afraid of the dark, but it is even sadder to see a grown-up being afraid of the light. How often do we know exactly what we have to do, but we just didn't do it? How often do we give up too fast? And there is something about giving up. It's quite interesting. You know, we were all born perfect without the will to give up, because we all learn how to walk. You know, a baby, helpless on his back, looking around, sees somebody walking, sees a possibility that, oh, that can be done, then tries it, falls, tries, falls. But after the 10th time, 20th time, 30th time, 100th time, do they ever go, did we ever go, oh, you know what, that's 100th time I tried already. I'm not meant for walking. No. Without any guidance, no courses to attend to. Nobody telling us, don't give up. Yeah, apart from our parents, but you know, it's hard to say whether they understand anything at the point of time. But with no extra coaching, we simply didn't give up. We just went on and on and on until we started walking, then running, then skipping, then jumping. But as we grew, what happened to that tenacity? What happened to that energy? What happened to that? We were suddenly taught, oh yeah, I know, you tried 10 times. Probably not good at it. You tried 1 time. Oh, I didn't do it very well. Let's stop. We were all born with a perfect gift, but somehow we all lost it along the way. Strive to become the best version of yourself. Step number 2. Okay. Amity is more than just a vet practice. It is an ideal that something can be better, that we can be better. Okay. We can't be anybody else. If I gotta be free, I gotta be me. We cannot be anybody else. Okay, people say that, oh yeah, I wish I was like that person. Oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. We simply cannot be anybody else, because we are we, and we're all born unique and perfect. But what we can do is to improve ourselves, be the best version of yourself. It is still you, but it's the best version of you. Does it make sense? Yeah? So there's nobody, we don't want to be like Beyonce or whatever, you know. Just be you. But strive to be the best version of you. Thirdly, join our movement. See our vision. Imagine a place whereby the vet profession does not suffer all those statistics. That is real. Because right now, you know, nobody knows about it until I just told you. But this is real. So imagine a place like that. Imagine a place whereby we're the best version of ourselves. Join us on social media, spread the word. Like I said, this is how we contribute to Amity. It is not just a vet practice. It is an ideal that we can all be better. So we have got Facebook with quite a lot of different sort of news on it. There's a lot of content on it. So do join us for that. We have also our own little YouTube channel. We're slowly adding on content. And also we have a bit of Instagram as well. So do join us over there. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. We all start thinking. Everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. All action starts with a thought. All results is a consequence of an action. So what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So, I've got 3 fairly exciting news to tell you guys about. First of all, referral system. So this is quite exciting for Amity members. So in your packs, you'll find that there is a referral system whereby if you refer someone to join a practice, you get 20% off your membership. Refer 5 people, your membership is pretty much covered for the whole year. So that's that, just for members. However, we also have got evening talks for pet owners. We're launching that every second Friday each month over here at Fort Hall Social Club. Between 6:15 and 8 p.m. It's free to Amity members. We have various topics, including canine arthritis, acupuncture, nutrition, CBD oil, exotic species, and many more. So this is our way of giving out value, because we realize that, you know, we have to give out value. And without sounding random, as a vet, traditionally, as we know, the only way that we give value is when an animal is sick. It is way too morbid. It's just way. It's almost like somebody coming up to you saying that, hey, look, I'm a gynecologist. Give me a shout if you need me. Say, oh yeah, thank you very much, but hey. Or coming to a guy and say, look, I'm a proctologist. Give me a shout if you need me. No. So what we're doing is that every second Friday of each month. We are going to be here. We're going to be giving out talks and on various topics. And if there's any various topics that we want to hear, please do let us know, and we'll take it from there. And our last initiative, our third initiative, is that we are running a Amity Family Day on the 28th September on a Saturday from 10 to 4 at Fortress Cross Fields. So it's free entry to Amity members, and basically the whole idea is to combine fun and education for family with kids and pets. So over there we're going to have things like bouncy castle, food, we're going to have sort of dog training, different sort of aspects of pet care. So it is a fun, value-packed day for any family, anyone who's got a pet or kids or both. So sometimes we have to think differently. Like, what is a vet doing? Organizing family days. But hey, there we go. So tonight is quite exciting. So enough of me babbling. We've got two very, very exciting activities for us in store tonight. And it is one of those things whereby, you know, I'm a vet, but I also love salsa and more recently capoeira. And to be able to bring that under the same roof in the same event is pretty interesting, I must say. Okay, and the reason why I like these two activities is that they have something in common. They're quite different, but they also have a lot of things in common. They both involve music, different sort of music, but nonetheless music. They both have their own styles and their own feel to it. And they both involve at least two people. And it's involving interaction, leading, following, calling back, and things like that. Okay, and it is very interesting. And I am very, very lucky and very, very fortunate tonight to have both my teachers here tonight. My salsa teacher and my capoeira teacher as well, to show us a little bit of capoeira and show us how the game is played. It's a very, very interesting Brazilian game. Who knows what is capoeira over here? By the way, just raise your hands up. Who has heard of capoeira? Fabulous. Not many. Okay, you guys are in for a treat tonight. It is pretty impressive. Okay, and so these are lovely patients. Without further ado, we will have a demonstration of capoeira first. Dragos, Bahasha, come forward, please. So we can get lights on, please. Thanks. So this is my capoeira teacher, and if we could just, okay, so for the rest of the evening, apart from these two activities, please do mill about, make friends, ask, and you know, all of you guys are wearing very, very interesting badges because, oh, sorry about light, but you guys are wearing amazing badges because not only do your badges contain your names, so just for tonight, let's pretend that we're actually who we want to be. I see spacemen, I see astronauts, I see nurses, I see teachers. You know, very, very different from what the present profession is right now. Let's just pretend. Let's give that dream, let's give the acknowledgement of that dream a touch of reality, who you want to be. And just for tonight, let's acknowledge other people's dreams. So when you introduce yourself as so-and-so astronaut. And just for tonight, let's think different. So, thank you very much. And if there is a...